I'm grateful for electricity because I know what it feels like to not have electricity.
Living good and we feeling great. New content on the way. Something new with her every day. So official. YouTube shawty.
Hi guys, long time no talk. I literally have not talked to you guys in almost a year. Of course, if you follow me on Instagram, we've been talking on the gram and stuff like that, but I have not posted a YouTube video in a year, pretty much a whole year. So I know that the last video I posted was basically like me creating my clothing line, the Rose Print, and I'm coming up on like my 1 year anniversary. Here's what happened, okay? So y'all know that I was, if you saw that video, you know that I was sewing everything by hand, every individual order. I'll say about a month into business, I got a lot of orders. Basically, business was just, it was going pretty well for me to have just been starting. And I underestimated how difficult it was going to be to sew everything by myself. It was to the point that I was waking up 5 o'clock in the morning and my boyfriend would come home from work at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and I would still be sitting at the sewing machine sewing all day. Sewing is very tedious and very time consuming regardless of how like intricate the design is. With that being said, I was sewing everything and I didn't have any time for marketing, managing social media, website, all of the back end stuff, planning content, shooting content. Like I didn't have time for anything else, and obviously it takes more than just sewing clothes to like run a business. So I had to take a step back, and because I took a step back, if you follow me on Instagram, which you should, if you don't, you should do so right now, because even when I'm like MIA from YouTube, I'm pretty active on Instagram for the most part. But after this, guys, I started spiraling so bad. Like the spiral started beginning of February and it lasted all the way until May. May was when I hit absolute rock bottom, and it was just really bad. I spiraled for a really long time. The type of person that I am, my work is what keeps me happy. Creating content on Instagram is really fun to me, but when I say my work, I'm talking about my clothing line. Being a fashion designer is what I wanted to do my entire life. I'm talking about since I was 6 years old. So when I finally launched the Rose Print, that was like one of the most happiest moments in my life. It was really, really great creating my brands. I had to kind of make an executive decision. I could have continued to make everything by myself, but I just knew realistically, like it was just too much for me. My body was starting to like shut down. I was physically feeling the strain of non-stop sewing, and it was just way too much for me. But like I said, once I had to kind of take a step back from that and make an executive decision to do what was best for my business, which is go the manufacturer route, I started to get really, really sad. The manufacturer route, I'm gonna be fully transparent during this video. Quick disclaimer, when I started on YouTube in 2015, I was always open, honest, and vulnerable, and I said that I wanted to be that. If you follow me on Instagram, again, you've seen like what happened in like springtime of 2020. You know. Because of that moment that happened, I stopped being vulnerable because I realized that not everybody that watches you genuinely like support you. It honestly like still gives me anxiety to like film and be vulnerable on camera, because it's people that's watching just to like talk crap about you. And I'm vulnerable with you guys because we all go through things, like some of the same things actually. I don't feel like I should have to hide certain things on camera and in film. For what? You know what I'm saying? But with being vulnerable on camera, it comes with people who have opinions, people who don't support you, people who are going to judge you and talk crap about you. And that's just going to have to be what it's going to be, because I can't not make my content because people are going to be mean, basically. And what I've realized is usually people who are coming for you and your life decisions, it's a projection. Like it's literally a projection of things that they might see in themselves that they might be disappointed in. So they look online to influencers and content creators and they feel like, oh, let's just talk about her. And a lot of the times the stuff that they be talking about, like I guarantee it, if these people came from behind their fake accounts and you took a magnifying glass to their life, they really would have no room to talk. Like they be projected, because the reality is happy people don't sit online and talk about other people. They just don't. And they'll try to label it as, oh, we just have an opinion. Oh, you put your stuff online for the world to see, so we're allowed to like talk crap about you. Happy people don't do stuff like that. Like they just don't. It be people that be miserable with their own lives and upset about decisions that they made. So they come online to like judge other people for a lot of the times making the exact same decisions that they make. Again, people be projecting. So with that understanding, I had to think about the people who watch me and they genuinely wish me well. Like people who watch me and they rooted for me even when I'm going through things, when I'm up, when I'm down, like people that are genuinely supporting for me. So I have to think about basically glass half full, not half empty. You get what I'm saying? Like instead of thinking about people who don't genuinely bang with me, think about the people who do. So with that being said, I started to spiral. On top of me not being able to work on my clothing line, my boyfriend and I had moved into a new apartment, and from day one, guys, this apartment was hell. Like I'm not going to tell y'all the name, of course, but it got so bad, not even just for our unit, like I'm talking about the entire building. It got so bad that the state of Houston is like threatening to like take away the building because that's how many problems that it had. So that added to like my spiral and my depression. I'm talking about when we moved in, our lights was out for over a week. All our food went bad because of it. Mind you, we're moving. Y'all know moving can be expensive. We had just, you know, like went grocery shopping. All of the stuff that we bought went bad because the electricity was out in our unit only, not the whole building. And it wasn't like on our end, like an electricity issue. It was literally the building, like the unit that we was in. I don't know when the last time somebody stayed in that particular unit, but something was wrong. I think they said like the breaker connected. Girl, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I still don't understand what was happening, but our electricity was out for a long time. So that added to it. After that, like things it just kept getting worse in the apartment. Like I don't even want to talk about it because I have a house now. Things are better. Like it is what it is. But there's more things that happen in this whole spiraling situation. If I was to tell a story time on everything that happened between February to May, oh my God, it would probably be the best story time that I ever did. I've been writing about it in my book, but it's been crazy, okay? So I finally hit rock bottom and my mom was just like, you need to come home. Like you need to come home because you're not happy right now. And I really wasn't. And I'm like, Mom, like please just give me a one-way ticket. Like she bought my ticket because it was so bad, guys. It was really bad. But she bought me a ticket and I was like, I just want a one-way ticket because I felt like I needed to run away. That's how miserable I was. Like it was really bad, guys. Like really, really bad. So I went to Baltimore and that was when I started to feel better because I'm such a control freak. Everything that I was going through this year, it was one of those things where you can't get around it, you can't get over it or under it, you gotta go through it. But I was not trying to go through it. I was fighting the process the entire time. From the second we moved in till I got to Baltimore, I was fighting the process. I knew that it was a process and I knew that it was a lesson and I knew that it was something that I needed to go through, but that's something that's easier said than done. And me being such a control freak, I felt like I didn't have control over anything anymore. I could not work on my business because like I said, I'm going the manufacturer route, which we will talk about at a later date because it'll be back. The rose print is not going anywhere, but I couldn't work on the rose print. So that made me like hella miserable because again, that's what makes me happy. That's what keeps me fulfilled. And then I wasn't creating content because of my terrible apartment. I just felt like I could not create content there. I was just so unhappy there and I wasn't creating content. So with that being said, every day was just, I was miserable, guys. It got to the point that I hated my apartment so much that I would go get fast food and I would sit in my car and eat the food just to avoid my apartment. Like that's how much I did not want to be there because I hated it. I didn't like the way the building smelled. I didn't like I hated everything about that apartment that we was living in. But once I got to Baltimore and I was away from Houston, I didn't have a choice but to stop. Like just stop trying to fix everything. Stop trying to make stuff happen. I just had to go through it and I went through it, but I was getting beat up the whole time. Like I wasn't going through it with a clear head. I was spiraling down, like spiraling because I'm trying to like take control and do this and do that, but it was just one of those things where I just had to go through it. I didn't go through it well. My perspective was just from a terrible place. And once I got to Baltimore, that allowed me to just sit and reflect and just redevelop my mental health and get myself together. I stayed in Baltimore for pretty much like a month. Once I I felt like it was time to come back. I told myself that I had to shift my perspective. And if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. So when I got back, my apartment didn't even look the same. The exact same apartment that I was just at a month prior, it did not look the same when I get back because my perspective was different. But I got back and I just shifted my perspective and I was able to start creating content again. I actually had started talking to manufacturers. I got to Baltimore. I didn't find the one that I'm going with until our meeting was probably like a month ago. So I obviously had to talk to like different manufacturers to find out who was going to be the best fit for me. I was able to like start that process of finding out who's going to be the manufacturer for the rose print. And yeah, once I got back, started to feel better, things started to look up for me. So as of a week ago, I am in a new house. I love my place so much. It's beautiful. And I've just become very grateful for things that I'm not going to say I wasn't grateful for before, but I overlooked them. When I write in my gratitude journal in the morning, before it would change every day, but before I would kind of write things like I'm grateful for my sisters because I am, my boyfriend because I am, my family, like I would write, you know, those things. Now I've noticed that my gratitude list has gotten a lot more simple. Like I'm grateful for electricity because I know what it feels like to not have electricity. My fridge and my freezer is full of food and I'm like, that's a blessing because I know what it feels like to not have any food. Like I know what it feels like. And these are things that I might have overlooked before because I never had to go a period of time without lights. I never had to go a period of time without having food in my place. I never had to experience that until this year. This is my first time like struggling like that. So now it's just like, yeah, I got a full fridge. Thank God. Like it's a blessing. My lights, like let there be lights. Thank God. Because I know what it feels like to not have lights. That has kind of been just a general overview of my mental journey this year. And y'all have asked some of these questions so many times, but I'm gonna answer it again. Is Texas my forever home? And is. Like, I love Houston. I feel like I will probably, I really don't know, but I've considered it. I might possibly move towards the Dallas area when I'm ready to like settle down and have kids, just because I heard that that area is a little bit more family oriented and suburban. I'm still young, single, no kids. So Houston is perfect for me and perfect for the stage in my life that I'm at right now. I might still stay in Houston after I get married. It really just depends. But other than that, I absolutely freaking, like, I love Houston so much and I don't plan on leaving here. If I was to leave Houston, I don't see me moving anywhere else in the United States. I see me moving out of the United States. I don't know where. I haven't been out the US yet. I just got my passport a little less than a month ago. I'm just waiting for that to come in, but now that your girl got a passport, I can finally like step off of US soil. I already have my first, second, and third trip planned. So get ready for the solo travel vlogs. Heavy on the solo travel vlogs. If I was to move out of Texas, I would see me like leaving the US altogether. Where? I don't know because I haven't been out yet, so I'm not probably gonna know until I get there. I realized I didn't close out this vlog. I was gonna close it out once I got dressed. I did get dressed. I tried to shoot content and my content is just not coming out well today, but my face is already beat, so I'm really not trying to give up. But I did want to close out this vlog. I was thinking about my next video being a video on how I grew my relaxed hair, because if those of you who don't know, I have been relaxed for about a year now. Yeah, I relaxed last August, so I was thinking of that being my next video because my hair has grown nice and long and healthy. So if you want to see that, just let me know down below. But I'll see you guys in a few days in my next video. I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in for this video and I'll see you in the next one.